Greetings once again from the Big South. I'm Mark Bryant, coordinator of new media for the conference, and very happy to be talking with you once again about the offerings on the Big South Network. It's a big week last week with a lot of shake-up going on in men's basketball in particular, and some interesting developments in women's basketball as well. So let's talk about the games we have for the upcoming week. 20 events in all, live video streaming for you on the Big South Network through BigSouthSports.com. for the 21st through the 27th. Let's get right into it with the men's basketball starting Thursday night, the 21st. And as we said, last week we had a shakeup starting on Thursday. This week, it's not quite as much of a battle royale among the top contenders, although there are some games involving them. Let's go through the list. All the Thursday games are 7 o'clock tips. We have Presbyterian College at Gardner-Webb, and then Liberty at High Point in a game between two 4-3 clubs. Liberty has kind of climbed up to 4-3. High Point took a step back to 4-3. We'll see what happens when they meet at the Millis Center in High Point. VMI at Radford. Interesting to watch just in this being a rematch of the final from last year's conference tournament. VMI, of course, will push the pace, and Radford will try to use their big men, and we'll see who comes out the better in that one. Radford 5-2 and second in the conference going into that game. And then Winthrop at UNC Asheville. Winthrop 4-3, UNC Asheville 3-4. So sort of a pivot point at the edge of the contender group there, because in all you've got 6 teams 4-3 or better right now, and they're all looking for those top 4 spots because the top 4 seeds will host games in the first round of the tournament, and that will be key going forward. So we're very interested in what's going to happen here. We're at the turn. We're at the halfway point. As we get to Saturday, it's the halfway point for the conference season. So we go into the stretch, and we'll see how these teams settle into their various positions. Of course, Coastal Carolina at 7-1 is in the lead. They've got a big game coming up. We'll get that down to that part of the list in just a second. But you see Presbyterian College at UNC Asheville. That's at 4:30. And then at 7 o'clock, Winthrop at Gardner-Webb. VMI at High Point, 7 o'clock. And again, VMI up-tempo, High Point trying to regain its footing after a 4-1 start and then falling back to 4-3. We'll see how they come out of this weekend, and if the Panthers will come out of it better than they did last weekend. Liberty at Radford. And this game will be on Masson as well, so if you get Mid-Atlantic Sports Network, you'll be able to watch it there, or, of course, as always, on the Big South Network. Liberty 4-3, Radford 5-2, so another battle of contenders there. Coastal Carolina at Charleston Southern. This is my little put a star by it game to watch here, because last week we advised you to keep an eye on Charleston Southern just because the schedule favored their ability to rise, and the Buccaneers took advantage of it. They won 2 games against Radford and High Point and moved right into that contending group with those victories and shook things up for their opponents and made things interesting for Coastal Carolina. And now Coastal and Charleston will go head-to-head, and they will do it at Charleston Southern at 7:30 on Saturday. So be ready for that. You can find it, of course, right here on the Big South Network. And then we have one game out of conference with Southern Virginia at VMI. That is Tuesday night, the 26th. On to women's play, and we start with an out-of-conference game there. North Carolina Central at UNC Asheville. That's 7 o'clock on Friday night. Then as we move through the weekend, interesting in that the top 4 teams in Big South women's play right now are not playing each other this weekend. They're all the road teams for the Saturday and Monday trip. So we've got Radford at Coastal Carolina. That's at 2. Gardner-Webb at Winthrop at 4. At 5 o'clock, it'll be Liberty at Charleston Southern, and at 7, High Point at Presbyterian. Then they turn it around and go on Monday, the 25th, and with that, Radford will be at Charleston Southern, Liberty at Coastal, Gardner-Webb at Presbyterian, and High Point at UNC Asheville. So right now, the top teams in women's basketball, Gardner-Webb and High Point at 4-1, as well as Radford has climbed to 4-1, and right behind them, Liberty 3-1. No one else with a winning record, although Coastal just behind at 2-2. But wait, there's more. There are 20 offerings in all. I've only counted 19 basketball games. We've got something a little different for you this week. We have wrestling. Not wrestling so much. Actual wrestling here, collegiate wrestling with Bucknell at Liberty. And some of you say that's not a Big South sport. No, but it is a sport that several or some of our Big South teams do participate in. We're very glad to have that streaming event. Happy to bring you some additional events like the lacrosse or the wrestling every so often, something a little bit different here on the Big South Network, and you'll be able to find that 3 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. Remind you, if you're looking for that event or you're looking for all your basketball fix or just all your team all year round and want the best deal you can get in the Big South, you can order by the game, by the sport, by the season if you want men's and women's basketball per se, or you can get the annual package and you get everything. Hundreds of events, literally about 600 plus sporting events, soccer, volleyball, football, basketball, baseball, and softball. Those schedules are about to begin. So really get your money's worth with the annual package. And, of course, not just at the hub of everything at BigSouthSports.com where you get the Big South Network, but you'll also find us, well, in several other locations on the web with our affiliated sites and services. We are on Twitter. We are on Facebook. We have a blog. We have a YouTube channel. You can find links to all those things at our homepage, BigSouthSports.com. By all means, follow us, fan us, subscribe to us. Use all those ways to keep track of the Big South Conference. The more the merrier. We'd love to have each and every one of you with us as we share some different perspectives and stories on what's going on around the conference and in our many teams in Virginia and the Carolinas, the Big South Conference. Developing leaders through athletics, as we like to say. And remind you, if you have any trouble with the video stream, there are places you can turn. You can call our web and streaming hosts at Jump TV at 877-967-3267 or send them an email, fansupport@jumptv.com. Be sure to specify technical support, billing, something in your general area so that it'll get directed properly and promptly. And remind you again, my name is Mark Bryant. If you have any questions about what we're doing here or like to contribute something to our weekly guides or our various sites, by all means, let me know. Mark B. at bigsouth.org. Happy to hear from you. Hope you enjoy the games this week, and we will talk to you again next week as we close out January and take that step toward February and upcoming championships in that month, and then and baseball and softball cranking up. The seasons will be a-changing not too far away. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you in a week.